Love yourself, not me. What if we dream of each other and keep it a secret? Stop waiting for everything to be perfect to be happy. A great future doesn't require a great past. Stop looking for happiness in the same place you lost it. Stop comparing your path to someone else's. Stop trying to make the wrong person right for you. We spend so much of our lives chasing love from others, hoping they will be the ones to finally fill that silent emptiness inside us. We wait for someone to see our worth, to hold our heart like it's the most precious thing in the world. But here's the truth we avoid saying out loud. The most important person who needs to love you is you. Love yourself, not me, not your partner, not your friends, not your family, you. Because until you give yourself that love first, every other kind of love will feel like it's missing something. When you truly love yourself, you stop begging for scraps of affection. You stop trying to make the wrong person right for you. You stop holding on to those who treat you like an option when you deserve to be a priority. It's not arrogance, it's self-respect. And self-respect changes everything. It changes the way you speak, the way you stand, the way you walk into a room. People can feel it even before you say a word. But so many of us delay our happiness. We think, I'll love myself when I lose the weight. I'll be confident when I get the job. I'll feel worthy when I find the right person. We live in this constant one-day mindset, as if happiness is a place we have to earn the right to visit. Stop waiting for everything to be perfect to be happy. Life doesn't give us perfect. It gives us moments. And if we're too busy waiting for the flawless moment, we miss the beautiful ones happening right now. Sometimes, it's not about having the right conditions. It's about creating the right mindset. Happiness is not something that appears magically when life is easy. It's something we choose to build inside ourselves, even when life is hard. That's why some of the happiest people you'll ever meet are not the ones with perfect lives, but the ones who learn to smile through imperfection. And yes, there will be people from your past who will still pull at your heart. You'll remember how they made you feel, how you laughed together, maybe even how you dreamed of a life together. Sometimes those dreams are hard to let go of. What if we dream of each other and keep it a secret? That quiet thought lingers. It's tempting to revisit those places in your mind. But here's the thing. Stop looking for happiness in the same place you lost it. Some doors are closed for a reason. Some people are part of your story, but not your destiny. The past can teach us, but it should never trap us. A great future doesn't require a great past. You don't need to have been perfect to create something beautiful ahead. You don't need flawless beginnings to have an extraordinary ending. What matters is not where you've been, but where you're willing to go next. And as you start walking towards that future, there's another trap you must avoid: comparison. Stop comparing your path to someone else's. Their timeline is not your timeline. Their success doesn't mean you're behind. Life is not a race, it's a personal journey. Every time you look over at someone else's lane, you take your eyes off your own. And if you keep doing that, you crash into your own potential. So here's where we start. Love yourself fiercely. Stop waiting for perfect. Stop trying to repair what was never meant to last, and stop looking sideways at other people's lives. Focus on you, because when you do, you'll realize something powerful. The life you're searching for is not out there. It's been within you all along, waiting for you to notice. The moment you decide to love yourself, you begin to see the truth about the people and habits you've been holding on to. Some of them have been keeping you small, some of them have been feeding your doubts, and some of them have been quietly breaking you piece by piece while you pretended it was love. We've all done it. We've all tried to make the wrong person right for us. We convince ourselves, maybe if I change, maybe if I try harder, maybe if I give them more time, more patience, more of myself, they'll finally be the person I know they can be. But here's the reality. Love is not supposed to be a rescue mission. It's not your job to fix someone else's wounds at the cost of bleeding yourself dry. You cannot set yourself on fire to keep another person warm. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to walk away. Not because you stopped caring, but because you started caring about yourself more. Because you finally realized that being in love should not feel like constantly proving you're worth loving. But walking away is hard. especially when you've built dreams with someone. You remember those nights you stayed up talking about the future. You remember thinking you found your forever. And even when it's over, your mind whispers, "What if we dream of each other and keep it a secret?" You want to hold on to the memories because they're the last place you felt that rush of connection. But here's the truth. Those memories are a place you can visit, not a place you can live. Stop looking for happiness in the same place you lost it, because no matter how many times you go back, you'll find that what broke you still lives there. That door won't magically open into a new chapter. It will keep dragging you back into the old one, and you deserve better than a rerun of your own heartbreak. And yet, letting go isn't just about people. It's about letting go of the idea that life needs to line up perfectly before you can be happy. Some of us are waiting for the perfect timing, the perfect body, the perfect bank account, the perfect relationship before we give ourselves permission to live. But the danger of waiting for perfect is that you wait forever. Stop waiting for everything to be perfect to be happy. If happiness only exists for you in the future, then you will never truly have it, because there will always be another thing to fix, another goal to reach, another reason to postpone joy. You have to decide to find beauty in the now, even if the now is messy, especially if the now is messy. And when you start living like that, when you start choosing joy in imperfect moments, you stop caring about what other people are doing. You stop comparing your path to someone else's. You realize their journey has nothing to do with yours. They might be ahead in one chapter, but you might be ahead in another. It doesn't matter. You're not running the same race. You're writing your own book. A great future doesn't require a great past. Maybe your past is filled with mistakes. Maybe you stayed too long in the wrong places. Maybe you let fear make your choices. But none of that disqualifies you from creating something amazing. The pain of your past is not your prison. It can be your power if you let it. So today, make a choice, not a small one, a big one, the kind that shifts everything. Choose to stop chasing those who walk away. Choose to stop waiting for the stars to align before you start living. Choose to stop comparing your timeline to someone else's highlight reel, and choose to step boldly into the truth. You are enough, even now, even here, even in the middle of the mess. Because when you start living from that truth, you begin to see the real magic, the kind that doesn't come from perfection, but from presence. And that is where the story changes. When you strip away the noise, the expectations, and the demands of the world, you're left with one question. Who am I when no one is watching? That's the person you have to learn to love. Not the version of you that tries to please everyone. Not the version of you that pretends to be fine while breaking inside. The real you. The one who has flaws, scars, fears, and still shows up every day trying to do better. Loving yourself is not about ignoring your flaws. It's about refusing to let them define your worth. And when you love yourself deeply, you stop negotiating your value. You stop settling for relationships that drain you. You stop trying to make the wrong person right for you because you finally understand love should lift you, not leave you gasping for air. But there's a tricky part no one talks about. Sometimes the hardest person to walk away from is the one you still care about. You might lie awake at night, wondering if they're thinking of you. You might feel that familiar ache when a song comes on, or when you see something that reminds you of them. What if we dream of each other and keep it a secret? The heart is a stubborn thing. It wants to believe that maybe, just maybe, you can go back to how it used to be. But here's the truth you must face. Love without respect will never last. Care without consistency will never heal you. And going back to the same place you lost yourself will only cost you more of yourself. Stop looking for happiness in the same place you lost it. Every time you try, you only reopen wounds that were trying to close. And while you're healing, you'll notice something else. How easy it is to postpone your own joy. You tell yourself, I'll be happy when my life looks like theirs. Or, I'll be happy when this situation changes. But that's a trap. Stop comparing your path to someone else's. Your journey is unique. Your timing is divine. No two souls are meant to bloom in the exact same season. Stop waiting for everything to be perfect to be happy. If you only allow yourself joy after life becomes flawless, you will never know joy, because perfection is an illusion. It's a moving target that keeps running faster the closer you get. The people who live the fullest lives aren't the ones with perfect conditions. They're the ones who decided that happiness is worth fighting for now. And this is where the shift happens. You begin to realize that a great future doesn't require a great past. You don't need to rewrite what happened. You don't need to erase your mistakes. Every tear, every failure, every moment you thought you couldn't go on, it was preparing you for the life you're about to live. The past is not the proof of your worth. Your choices in the present are. So choose yourself. Choose to live with open hands instead of clenched fists. Choose to release what hurts you instead of holding it close. Choose to take one step forward even if you're afraid. Because every time you choose yourself, you remind the world that you are not here to be saved, you are here to live, and in that choice, you'll find a freedom you never thought possible. The freedom to be exactly who you are, without apology. The freedom to live without chasing approval. The freedom to stop measuring your life against anyone else's and start writing the story that belongs to you. And that's when everything starts to shift. Every step forward is an act of courage. But sometimes, courage doesn't feel like a roar. It feels like a whisper, a quiet voice inside you saying, it's time to stop. Stop forcing what doesn't fit. Stop waiting for the apology that will never come. Stop trying to turn history into a future. We hold on to the past because it feels safe, even when it hurts. The memories become familiar walls, and the pain becomes something we've learned to live with. But safety and happiness are not the same thing. The comfort of the familiar is often the enemy of the life we deserve. That's why you must stop looking for happiness in the same place you lost it. Some doors are locked not to keep you out, but to keep you safe from walking into a fire you've already escaped. And then there's the other trap, thinking you need to make the wrong person right for you. You believe if you just show them enough love, if you give them enough chances, they'll change. But you can't rebuild something on a foundation that was never strong. Loving yourself means understanding that not everyone you care about is meant to stay. It's not a failure to walk away, it's survival. The moment you release what's wrong for you, you make space for what's right. But most people never get there because they're too busy comparing their lives to others. They see someone else's chapter 20 and feel like they're behind while still writing chapter 3. But your path is not supposed to look like anyone else's. Stop comparing your path to someone else's, because their story will never be your story. And thank God for that. Your uniqueness is your greatest strength. We often forget that a great future doesn't require a great past. You don't need a perfect history to create a powerful destiny. Some of the most beautiful lives are built on the ashes of mistakes and heartbreaks. Your scars aren't proof that you're broken, they're proof that you've survived. And survival is the soil where greatness grows. And yet, too many of us keep waiting. Waiting for life to calm down, waiting for the right moment, waiting until we're ready. But life doesn't pause until you feel prepared. If you keep waiting for everything to be perfect to be happy, you'll wait until the day you realize your life was spent in the waiting room. Joy is not a destination, it's a decision. One you make now, not later. Sometimes that decision starts quietly. You wake up one day and realize you're no longer willing to beg for love. You're no longer willing to shrink to fit into someone else's comfort zone. You're no longer willing to chase what hurts you. That's when you start to dream again, not of someone else, but of the life you're building for yourself. And here's the truth. You may still think about them. You may still wonder, what if we dream of each other and keep it a secret? But the difference now is that you won't let that thought stop you. You won't let it pull you back into the past. Because your life is too valuable to be lived in someone else's shadow. This is the chapter where you step fully into your own light. The chapter where you stop letting yesterday decide how bright your tomorrow can be. The chapter where you love yourself enough to walk away, even if your heart is still healing. The chapter where you choose freedom over fear. Once you've stepped away from what was breaking you, something incredible happens. you start to see clearly. The fog lifts, the weight on your chest eases, and for the first time in a long time, you can breathe without feeling like the air is heavy with someone else's expectations. This is the moment you realize that your life is not supposed to be a constant battle to prove your worth. It's not supposed to be a cycle of giving everything to someone who gives you just enough to keep you hoping. You were never meant to spend your days trying to make the wrong person right for you. That's not love. That's self-abandonment. When you love yourself, you stop being desperate for crumbs. You stop running back to the same places that drained you. You stop looking for happiness in the same place you lost it because you understand now, what's gone is gone. And maybe it left because it was making room for something far better. But here's where many people stumble. In that in-between space. The space after letting go, but before finding what's next. This is where the temptation creeps in. You start looking around, comparing yourself to others. You see their relationships, their careers, their perfectly curated lives, and you wonder if you're falling behind. Stop comparing your path to someone else's. Their season is not your season. Their blessings don't take away from yours. Your life is not late, it's right on time. And here's another truth. A great future doesn't require a great past. You are not disqualified because you made mistakes. You are not unworthy because of where you've been. In fact, your struggles have prepared you in ways an easy life never could. The person you're becoming is built from the battles you've already fought. But none of this will matter if you keep waiting for everything to be perfect before you give yourself permission to be happy. Perfection is not the key to joy. Presence is. If you can find beauty in the middle of the mess, you've already won. Happiness is not a result of a flawless life. It's a result of a fearless choice. And still, there will be moments when your heart remembers. Memories will come like soft waves, and you might wonder, what if we dream of each other and keep it a secret? But those dreams are no longer chains. They're just echoes. You can feel them without following them. You can smile at them without going back to them. Because you know now that love, real love, chooses you back. This is where your life shifts from surviving to thriving. You stop begging to be seen and start showing up for yourself. You stop waiting for someone else to give you permission and start giving yourself the freedom you've always deserved. You stop chasing what runs and start walking toward what stays. And the beautiful part? Once you make this choice, you begin to attract the right things. Opportunities that feel aligned. People who speak life into you instead of draining it out of you. Moments that feel peaceful instead of exhausting. It's not magic, it's alignment. When you choose yourself, the world responds. And in that alignment, you finally understand that the life you were meant to live has been waiting for you all along. You just had to stop settling for less than you deserve. Every choice you've made to let go, to stop waiting, to stop comparing, to stop chasing what hurts, has been leading you here, to this moment. A moment where you finally understand that the greatest love story you will ever live is the one you write with yourself. Loving yourself isn't a trend or a slogan, it's survival. It's waking up every day and deciding, I am worthy of the life I dream about. It's refusing to keep breaking yourself into pieces to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. It's looking at your reflection and saying, love yourself, not me, not because you don't value connection, but because you know that the love you give yourself is the foundation for every other love you will ever know. And when your foundation is strong, you stop chasing people who run, you stop trying to make the wrong person right for you, you stop looking for happiness in the same place you lost it, you stop believing that the past has to be perfect for the future to be powerful. You start living, really living, and yes, there will be quiet nights when the memories return, nights when you still think, what if we dream of each other and keep it a secret? But now, you don't get lost in that thought. You understand that dreams are only worth holding on to if they push you forward, not pull you back. You no longer wait for perfect conditions before choosing joy. You understand that life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but about learning to dance in the rain. You stop comparing your path to someone else's because you finally see the truth. There is no competition when the only person you're trying to be better than is who you were yesterday. And here's the most powerful part. When you stop living for someone else's approval, you start living for your own purpose. And in doing so, you inspire others to do the same. People will look at you and wonder how you found the courage to walk away, to heal, to rebuild, to shine again. They won't know the battles you fought in silence. They won't see the nights you cried yourself to sleep, but they will see the light in your eyes, and that light will give them hope. A great future doesn't require a great past. It requires courage in the present. Courage to say no when something isn't right. Courage to say yes when opportunity knocks. Courage to keep going even when the road feels long. And courage to believe that you are worthy, always worthy, of love, joy, peace, and purpose. So, here's your invitation. Stop shrinking. Stop waiting. Stop apologizing for wanting more. This is your life, your story, your chance to become everything you were created to be. Because one day, you will look back and realize that the moment you chose yourself was the moment everything began to change. That's when you stopped being a passenger in your own life and took the wheel. That's when you stopped living in the shadows of what was and stepped into the sunlight of what can be. And when that day comes, when you are standing in the life you built with your own hands, your own choices, your own courage, you will realize something powerful. You didn't just survive, you became the author of your own story, and that story is worth telling.